All right, so next we're going to hear from Speaker Dade Phelan. And Mr. Speaker, you can start to make your way up here. Dade Phelan is the 76th Speaker of the Texas House. He's currently serving in his fourth term as a state representative from District 21, which is in the Beaumont area. He works as a real estate developer at his family's fourth generation commercial real estate firm, which owns and manages retail, industrial, and office property, both in Texas and in Arkansas. His wife, Kim, is a solo practicing attorney because apparently there's a new house rule. If you're going to be speaker, your spouse has to be an attorney named Kim. They have 4 sons, one short of a basketball team who really do enjoy the back hall of the house, Ford, Mac, Hank, and Luke. He and his family reside in Southeast Texas, where Speaker Phelan was born and raised. He received his bachelor's degree in government and business from the University of Texas at Austin. And I got to say one thing here. Look, imagine this. You got like 150 people, and 149 of them say, okay, or 147 of them anyway, say, you're going to be the guy. And you have a few weeks to put together a staff. And, oh, by the way, we're in the worst global pandemic in over 100 years. And a few weeks later, we have the most severe Arctic storm in a generation. And then we have 3 special sessions, including the once every 10 years redistricting, redrawing of the political maps in the state. No problem, right? Welcome to the job, Mr. Speaker. This man has been rock solid. He has been amazing as our leader in the House. I'm proud that he is our Speaker. I am proud to know him as a friend. And I really, really appreciate, Mr. Speaker, you being here for this day that means so much to the Bonnen family.
Thank you, Greg, for bringing up all those wonderful memories. Is it too early for a bottle of wine? Thank you, though. Thank you all for being here. Brazosport College, all my colleagues from the House and Senate, Governor Abbott, community leaders, thank you all for being here. You're correct. Greg's wife is Kim, and Dennis's wife is Kim, and my wife is Kim. So if you want to be chair of Ways and Means, or Appropriations, or State Affairs, or maybe be Speaker one day, get a wife or a husband named Kim. But truthfully, on the behalf of us, I want to thank the Kim Caucus for allowing us to do this and serve in this capacity in these roles. It is a huge sacrifice of the family, and it is not forgotten on our colleagues how important it is to get back home as soon as possible. There's no doubt about that. Is there anyone left in Brazos County, Brazosport County, that's not here today? Because this is a huge crowd. It really is. And quite frankly, it's a testament to the service that Dennis Bonnen has provided for this community and for the entire state of Texas. And he should be proud of the love that y'all are showing him today. I know will not be forgotten. Again, I think we're close to a quorum, but there's a lot of House members here who want to show you their love as well. Having a building named after you, I think you're too young to have a building named after you, quite frankly. I've got 3 two-year institutions that I'll talk about in a second because I've got a story about Dennis Bonnen, but I've asked them, well, where's my building? And they said, there's a wastewater treatment plant. Since you're so full of crap anyway, we'll go ahead and name that after you. And I said, you know what, I'll take it. It's better than nothing, you know? So it is more than, like Joe said, this is more than a building. It is a testament to many, many years of service to the community in the state. And quickly, because since his brother brought up the dyslexia, I've got a son with dyslexia, and I have 2 that have a slight touch of dyslexia. And my son, who has dyslexia and ADHD and dysgraphia, is the smartest one, scary smart. And it's a lot like Dennis. You got to keep your eye on them because they're scary smart. Their mind works in an entirely different way. And they have to do it on their own. They have to create an different way of learning and reading, and it's impressive to watch it happen. It's scary at the beginning, but at the end, it's a beautiful thing. So I was walking down the street right after Dennis secured the votes to become Speaker, and a reporter stopped me and just said, listen, how did that happen? How did Dennis become Speaker? And it's not because he just didn't know the process. Like, how does this work? And I say, it's different every time. It's fast, it's furious. But I can tell you how Dennis became speaker. He himself became speaker. I couldn't tell you how other speakers became speaker. I couldn't tell you how I became speaker. It seemed like 30 years ago. But truthfully, everyone has a Dennis Bonnen story. And I had plenty of those as a legislator, too, up to that point, where he didn't have to help you out. He was Dennis Bonnen. He's blowing around like a tornado and going from issue to issue, fixing things. That was his job. But he helped me out a couple of times when he didn't have to help me out. And that means something, especially to a freshman who needs something back home, or someone who's maybe gotten in trouble with the Senate. Not that I'm used to doing that, by the way. But, he smoothed things out for you. And if you have enough of those stories, then you have enough of those support, and that's how you become Speaker of the House. At least that was my opinion. But I've got a story that I never told Dennis, and it's truly, it's a very important story to me. I haven't told a lot of people this story, but, if you're a member of the House or Senate, or any elected official, quite frankly, you probably at one point in your time have asked yourself, why am I doing this? And maybe your first month in office and maybe 10 years down the road, but you may do it all the time. Why am I doing this? I'm sure on day 87th of the third special, plenty of us were asking us, why are we doing this? And if you don't answer that question at some point in time, then you become one of the 25 House members who decide not to run for re-election. And many of those came to me with that, not all of them. Some of them said, listen, I had a great career. I've done everything I wanted to do. And I've got grandkids, and I want to go enjoy that life. I totally get it. But some came in and said, I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know the purpose of this job. And so I was at that point after Harvey and Imelda, and it was a lot. It was more than I signed up for. I thought I'd come up there and, do some votes every other year for 140 days and, go to eat some rubber chicken at some Chamber of Commerce meetings and kiss some babies and all that, right? Well, no, when you have Harvey and Imelda and your communities are devastated, that job goes on for years. I see Mondo Wally nodding his head. It doesn't end. We're still dealing with that, right? I didn't realize to the extent that would be on my shoulders as a member of the House. So I'll never forget this day. It was a day or two before committee assignments came out, and I'm driving down to Nederland, Texas to check my P.O. box, and my phone rings, and it's Speaker Bonnen. I was like, uh-oh, this is it. And so, I answered the phone. He's like, are you sitting down? And I was like, yeah, I'm driving. He's like, you may want to pull over. I was like, oh, well, what am I doing for the next 2 years? And he said, well, I'd like for you to chair state affairs. And I said, county affairs or state affairs? I'd be much less likely to get shot if I was doing county affairs than state affairs, but I'd seen the arrows and knife wounds and bullet holes that my predecessor had in state affairs, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to try to keep this a secret from my wife for the next 2 years, but I'll be more than happy to be chair of state affairs. Of course, I will do that, Mr. Speaker. What I really had my eyes trained on was going back to appropriations, which I appreciated, and hopefully chair Article 3, because I have a 2-year institution just like Brazosport College. I actually have 3. I have LIT, Lamar Orange, Lamar Port Arthur. They're the most important thing to me in Southeast Texas because they are the only way we're going to keep our population from going to the major metropolitan areas is if we train our children here in rural areas like Brazosport College. And it is technical training, it is vocational training, they're game changers. They are first-generation college students. They are earning while they learn. It is vital to these communities. Like Mr. Cordova said, this is the center of the community, and the state needs to show that respect to these 2-year institutions. So I wanted to go on Article 3, and I wanted to reduce the tuition at my 3 state colleges as much as I could. The plan was to reduce about 25% in 2019 and 25% in 2021. And I figured I'd make that ask later on in session. So I said, yes, so we go through and session, and Chancellor McCall comes down, and we sit down in his, it's probably the first time I've been in the Speaker's office. And I sat down in there, and I said, hey, this is my big ask for the session. And he waited about 30 seconds. He looked over to Mr. Blifford. It was like Don Corleone looking over at Tom Hagen. And Blifford just nods his head. Dennis nods his head. And then McCall and I look at each other. Dennis goes, wow, sounds good. Let's do it. And I said, McCall, we're getting the hell out of here right now before he changes his mind. And we bolted out of there, and he goes, that was quick, that was easy. I was like, well, you know what? It's one of the reasons I supported Dennis. He represents the community just like mine. And we have so many of the same goals, and our communities have the same needs. And so it was probably a no-brainer for him. Well, fast forward to, he was very gracious. He came down and did a press event with me and gave me all the credit. Of course, I took all the credit. But it made news for several days. And, they could not, as soon as the portal opened up to register for those courses, it almost crashed at all 2 years. And so a few months after that, I'm at an event with Senator Cruz and several other elected officials. We are reopening the last elementary school that had flooded from Harvey. We're talking, many, many months, if not a year after the storm. And Dr. Portier, the superintendent for Port Arthur ISD, when he introduced me, he said, "This is the guy who cut your tuition by 25%. And then I didn't have a speaking role. It was great. I was ready to go home. As soon as it was over, everyone rushes to get a picture with Ted Cruz. I'm trying to sneak out the back so I can go pick up carpool. And this young lady is making a beeline for me, like through a crowd like this. And she's yelling my name. I was like, oh, this could be good or this could be really bad. I don't know what's about to go down. And she just said, I just want to thank you. I was in the nursing program at Lemoore Port Arthur. I'm first generation college student. My parents would spending their life savings putting me through school so I could be the first person in my family to have a career as opposed to a job. And it means a lot, not just to my parents, but my aunts and uncles. And after Harvey, we just couldn't do it anymore. It was too expensive for us to repair our home. We lost a car, and it was not in the cards. I pretty much had given up becoming a nurse, and I was going to go back to my hourly job, and that was going to be it. Then I heard the tuition was going to be cut by 25%, and I don't have to work full-time now. I can work part-time and go back to school. And I'm going to be a nurse, and I'm going to make my family proud. She starts tearing up. I start tearing up. I'm like, Ted Cruz is going to make fun of me for crying in politics. There's no crying in politics. I'm sure I'm about to start boohooing in front of Ted Cruz. But truthfully, that was the moment that answered that question, why am I doing this? That moment right there. And I mean this, and I don't want any member in this room to take this the wrong way. That meant more to me than anything I've ever done as speaker. I felt like I actually made a difference. And it would not have been possible if it weren't for Speaker Bonnen. In my community to this day, and the point is he touched my entire community with that. And since we reduced it again in 2021, coming out of COVID, those 2 years, like Brazosport, are flourishing. Instead of double-digit decreases in enrollment, is double-digit increases in enrollment. 90% of them, thank you, 90% of them are first-generation college students. 92% of them are working while they go to school. These are game changers. But Speaker Bonnen saw that, and he gave me that moment, that reason to keep doing this job. Not everybody has that story, that opportunity, but it doesn't surprise me. It's the reason he became speaker, and it's the reason why many of us are still doing this, is because he gave us an opportunity to fulfill what we were sent to Austin to do. And again, I want to thank his family, again, for sharing him for 24 years. I don't think he's done, unfortunately. I think he will be very active in whatever he wants to do. So God bless you in the next endeavor, Kim. But truthfully, thank you for sharing him with us. It means the world to us. And congratulations, Speaker Bonnen, on this fantastic honor. And I hope when the time comes for my wastewater treatment facility to be named after Speaker Phelan, that you will be there as well. Thank you very much.